I think is kind of amazing and brilliant. And I've been getting into chemistry recently and chemistry experiments. Who loves chemistry? Yeah, good. A particular kind of chemistry called polymer chemistry. Who loves polymers? Polymers are really surprising molecules. So polymers are molecules. The thing about polymers is they're stupidly long. They're really, really long molecules. And the way you make a polymer is you take a smaller molecule, right? So suppose imagine you're a small molecule. Great, yeah, you're ready to go. And imagine you're another identical molecule, right? Yeah, and you link them together. So link arms. There you go. And imagine that you're another molecule down there, and so you link arms as well. So link into the polymer, and then keep doing this, and so you link arms like that, and so on. And now I know we've already got it going around. Oh my God, it's happening organically or inorganically, depending on the kind of chemistry. This is actually happening. Oh my God. Okay, so I've created a sort of human polymer like this. And if you wanted to do it with actual chemicals, all you need is a molecule that has at least 2 arms. And if it's got at least 2 arms, then you can make a chain. But if you use something like carbon's got 4 arms, right? So imagine you all had 4 arms. You could link arms and have another spare couple of arms. So I could give you something to hold, right? Like this rubber hammer here. If I gave you all hold the rubber hammer up. If I gave you all a rubber hammer, suddenly that changes the property of the human polymer. So you're now not just a human polymer, you've got this kind of hammer thing going on as well. And that can create amazing things. So the problem with this human chain was it was only about 10 units long. Real polymers are tens of thousands long. And I've got a sort of model of a polymer that is that long. I've got a chain of beads which is about 8,000 units long. And when you've got something that long, it can behave in a really weird way. For example, I'll show you what happens with this chain of beads here. Isn't that incredible? It's like this self-siphoning molecule. And genuinely, there are chemical molecules that exist like that are self-siphoning, like polyethylene oxide or polyox. That isn't my favourite kind of polymer. I do have a favourite. It's called sodium polyacrylate. Now, I've got a little bag of sodium polyacrylate here. Now there's a real problem with bringing this sort of thing into a festival. They're actually quite easy to get into Wychwood, so something to bear in mind for next year. So sodium polyacrylate is a super absorbent polymer, which means that it can absorb something like 300 times its own weight in water. And so I've only got a small amount here, but if I add warm water to this, something pretty surprising should happen. Let me just get some bin liner to make it a bit more safe.
No, stop it. Bin liner.
It's only electricals, and so you have to just add some warm water, and you have to do it quite quickly. Let's see if I can make this work. Oh, it didn't mix. Oh, it didn't mix very well. It's all done. Hold on. What? Okay, I needed a bigger bin liner, but yeah, it was supposed to be like snow. I think I got the temperature of the water slightly wrong. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the great thing about sodium polyacrylate, it absorbs so much water that it starts to take on some of the properties of water, like its refractive index, which means that, and you can actually hide beads of sodium polyacrylate in water. So this looks like just a jug of water, but in fact there is something hidden inside. Wow, look at those. And they're completely safe. I'm joking, they're very, very toxic. But the way sodium polyacrylate works, I think, is actually more interesting than seeing it work. It's actually the sodium of sodium polyacrylate that's really important. Does anyone know the chemical formula for salt? Yes. What's that? NaCl, right? NaCl means sodium chloride. So salt has sodium in it as well as this sodium polyacrylate. Now, what happens when you put salt in water? It dissolves. And when it dissolves, the sodium and the chlorine separate. The sodium takes a positive charge with it, leaving the chlorine with a negative charge. And the same thing happens with sodium polyacrylate. You put it in water and the sodium swims away, taking a positive charge with it. And it leaves the polyacrylate chain with a negative charge. And I've got another little experiment here to show you what happens when you take a chain and you give it lots of negative charges. So let me bring up this. It's basically a static one. So it's a way of generating electricity, and I've got a sort of chain that I can charge up. So this is called a fun fly stick, and you can buy this on the internet. Here is my sort of model of the polyacrylate chain, and I can use this to give it a negative. Whoa, careful! Give it a negative charge. Here we go. Hold on. Bear with me. Talk amongst yourselves.
Well, I don't see.
There we go. Hopefully what you can see is that the negative charges are repelling each other. So all these different chains have got negative charges and they're getting as far away from each other as they could possibly get. And by doing that, they're creating a space in the middle. And that space fills with water. And that's what makes it so absorbent and what makes it so good at holding water. And it's the stuff that makes nappies work. And it's also the stuff they put on sick. Ladies and gentlemen, the stuff they put on sick. Or at least a model of it. Okay. I'm doing this. I'll be back in Cheltenham on Sunday doing a show called the Overambitious Demo Challenge, where a load of scientists get on stage and show their favourite experiments, and they try and win, they battle it out. It'll be this sort of thing. I'm also doing a show on Sunday morning about illusions and perception. That's a family show, so come along to that. It's Cheltenham Science Festival next weekend. I'm going to show you something from the illusion show. Who likes illusions? So the cool thing about illusions is they're like, it's like a window into your mind. It's kind of, they can tell you something about the way your brain works. And, you know, we're all used to optical illusions and stuff like that. But I found this brilliant thing. It's an audio illusion. And it sort of shows you how your sense of hearing works. And it gives us some clues about actually the intricacies of the way our hearing works. And so what you need to do is listen to the following two sounds that I'll play you, and you just have to say whether the second sound is higher or lower than the first sound, right? And so if you think the second sound is higher than the first sound, put your thumb up in the air like that, and if you think it's lower, put it down in the air like that. Okay, does that make sense? Great. What was that? Was that a question? Oh, higher in pitch or higher in volume? What do you think I mean? Obviously. I'm joking, no, it's a good question. Higher in pitch. Okay, so here we go.
Lower.
Right, so everyone thinks the same thing. Everyone thinks it went down. Right? Okay, I'll play another one. Play another pair of notes. Everyone agrees, right? We can all sense pitch. There's nothing strange about that, okay? I'm going to play two more notes and do the same thing again. Okay, so have a look around. Does everyone agree with you? So who thinks lower? Yes. Who thinks higher? Right. These these lower guys, fucking idiots. No, no, but that's weird, isn't it? How can it be? And the ones that thought it went lower, you're sure, right? You're totally sure. The ones that think it went higher, you're totally sure, right? How can that be? How can it be that some of you think it went one way and some of you think it went the other way? And it's an incredible thing. And I probably run out of time to explain why. But if you want to find out why don't you come to Cheltenham Science Festival next week? No, okay, I've got time. Okay, I have got time. I've got time. Okay. In that case, I will say. I genuinely wasn't planning that. I thought I ran out of time. So this is the thing about how we perceive sound. So the last two notes I played you, it was an audio illusion. You know, with optical illusions, normally something tricky has been done to an image to trick your brain. And something tricky has been done to those two sounds to trick your brain into hearing, some people hearing one thing, some people hearing the other. And it tells us something about the nature of the sounds that we hear around us. Like if you play an instrument, not really the drums, but if you pluck a guitar string or if you hear someone singing, that's resonance. And resonance comes in patterns, and I want to show you those patterns. I need someone's help. Matt, if you could please welcome Matt back to the stage. So, Matt, yeah, great. So, imagine this is a guitar string being plucked. And when you pluck a guitar string, you hear a note because it's resonating. But there's different patterns of resonance. So here's one pattern of resonance for you. Yeah, that never gets applause, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to show you another one. Here we go, if I get this right. Okay, yeah. So these are called standing waves, or they're called harmonics. This is a harmonic of this rubber tube. Okay, let me see if I can show you another one. And each time, to produce another one, I have to go more quickly. I have to go faster. You are a very generous audience. Okay, let's see if I can get full. And I'm going to have to go faster again, okay? Yes! Okay. And those patterns go on and on and on and on and on and on. And each one is faster than the other. And you know, the faster a guitar string vibrates, the higher the pitch is. So each one of those patterns, as you go up, is a higher pitch. And so you might think when you pluck a guitar string and you hear a pitch, you're hearing one of those vibrations. But you're not, you're hearing loads of them, all stacked up together, but your brain only hears the lowest one. And your brain sees the pattern of harmonics and thinks, I know what that is, based on the pattern, not on the lowest one. And so I played two notes to you with those stacked up frequencies, except in the second one, I had done something tricky, I did something unnatural. I removed the lowest harmonic, the lowest of those frequencies. And so half of the audience, actually the majority of you, heard a sound that wasn't there. And the minority of you that heard the sound go up, you were the ones hearing the true sound. So give yourselves a round of applause. Do you want to hear the note again? See? Yeah? Okay.
No idea what you've chucked tomatoes.
Okay, so who heard it go up this time?
No.
Who heard it go down?
I don't like your theory.
I don't like your theories. No, it's good, like scientific debate. Did anyone change their mind?
Yes.
At the back, man, it's fantastic. Yeah, of course you change your mind. You change your mind every 5 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for indulging me with my experiments. It's been a pleasure. See you soon.